Improv.
I don't know that we are sticklers for continuity, really. I mean, I think we've been very lucky, and kind of like what Adal was saying earlier, like if something gets messed up, like it's usually something small and we don't care that much. But at the same time, like if something big got thrown at us, I'm not sure what we would do. Luckily, so far, we've kind of kept it all straight in our heads. So as we're performing, it's not, I don't think about like, oh, I've got to keep this in continuity. I approach it as like, these are all the things that I know so far. So anytime that something appears that parallels that or is kind of echoes it or repeats it, I'm like, oh yeah, we did that in 10 episodes ago. Like I remember that. Yeah. So it's more about just like trying to keep it all. On the occasions we have forgotten something, if I forget something, the odds are at least one of these other two guys remembers it.
And the world's vivid and weird enough and different enough from Earth that it's easy to, for me, it's easy to remember like, oh, this is so wild. It's like reading a good book. Like if you read, Name of the Wind or Game of Thrones, like you're able to remember what that world is, Narnia. You're able to keep that straight in your head, having read it once. So living it, I think I'm able to keep it straight in my head.
And kind of the math of it is I look at like, if there were 10 facts total, and I remember 3 of those, and Adal remembers 3, and Arnie remembers 3, and we forget 1, we're doing pretty good. And that means I only have to remember 3 of 10 things. Yeah. So like it's not maybe as hard as it seems.
We also kind of just have to remember the things we remember, right? It's like
right.
There are a lot of things that we've forgotten
that we just don't talk about.
Just don't talk about.
Yeah.
So like the things that we're excited about and we bring up time and again, and about half of our guests listen to the podcast, about half of the guests don't so much. And so if a guest is really into stuff, they'll reference the things that they like and remember. And if a guest hasn't listened, they'll be a hermit. They'll be a character that doesn't know as much, and it's fine. We don't not every interview talks about the whole scope of a world.
Right.
They can just talk about themselves.
Great. Yes.
Sometimes we have the littlest nugget of an idea. Like I kind of mentioned, like I want to do an origin story for like the history or the creation myth of Foon. And we did one where Arnie played a wizard instead of playing himself, which is a really fun episode. And I think before that one, we just very quickly went, what wizards have we said? There's me, there's green, there's yellow, there's brown. It's those 4. Those are the ones we've established. And then we just kind of like, so we might take like 2 minutes to remember something and just kind of like quiz each other and be like, what do we remember? And then just go.
Improv.
Horse fights.
I hate you so much.
No, a horse fight can get very ugly.
Oh, I'm sure.
Do they have horse fights on Earth?
What's that?
Do they have horse fights on Earth?
It's illegal, except for Arizona.
See, here in Foon, what happens in a horse fight is all the horses line up in a circle. They all get a pole stuffed through their back, so they're rooted, and then they just turn in a respectful manner.
It sounds merry.
It's funny. There was a dwarf who came who wanted a wish just like that, and I had to talk him out of it.
He wanted
a lot of yes, he wanted that exactly. Yes, he wanted. It was strange, but the hard part of the job is talking people out of their wishes.
Sure.
Yeah. If a dwarf wants a horse, that actually does seem like a big wish to me.